There is a moment in life you rarely notice when it happens. Not a dramatic moment, not a sudden collapse, not something anyone else sees. It is quieter, like a door inside you closing gently, softly, almost politely. It is the moment you stop trusting yourself. Not because you made a terrible mistake, not because you're flawed, not because you're incapable, but because somewhere in your past, someone or something taught you to silence your own inner truth. You learned to doubt your emotions, to question your instincts, to second-guess your decisions, to apologize for things you didn't do, to assume your perception must be wrong. You learned to treat your own inner voice as an unreliable narrator. This is the story of how your trust in yourself was broken, and how to return to the version of you who once believed in their inner compass. Tonight, we step into the forest where your self-trust was lost, and into the place where it can be found again. Imagine standing alone in a vast, dim forest. Cold air, tall shadows, branches reaching out like memories you'd rather forget. In your hand, you hold a compass. Its needle shakes, spins, stutters, never pointing north. No matter how many times you tap it, shake it, or beg it to settle, it doesn't. You whisper to yourself, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I just choose? Why am I always unsure?" But the compass isn't broken. It's confused. Confused by years of being told your feelings were too much, being punished for your instincts, being dismissed when you tried to speak, being pressured to please others instead of yourself, being gaslighted into doubting your memory, being taught that conflict was dangerous, being forced to survive through silence. Your compass didn't break. It adapted. This is the symbol of your self-trust, not shattered, but shaken. Tonight we learn why the needle spins. You doubt yourself because self-doubt was safer than self-expression. That's the truth. Self-doubt was your armor when speaking your truth led to punishment. Self-doubt was your survival tool in environments where honesty wasn't welcome. Self-doubt was your way of staying connected to people who could not handle your authenticity. You doubt yourself because your past taught you that trusting yourself was dangerous. You learned that intuition leads to trouble, emotions lead to shame, boundaries lead to rejection, assertiveness leads to conflict, speaking up leads to being shut down, believing yourself leads to being told you're wrong. Self-trust didn't disappear, it was overwritten. Self-trust doesn't begin in adulthood. It begins in childhood, before you had the words to name your experience. It begins when a child says, "I'm scared. I don't like this. Something feels wrong. I want this. I don't want that." And someone responds either with validation or correction. If a child's emotions are acknowledged, they grow up believing, "My feelings make sense. My perceptions are real. I can trust my instincts. I am allowed to know myself." But if a child's emotions are dismissed or mocked, they learn, "My feelings are wrong. I can't trust what I sense. Others know better than me. My inner world isn't reliable." And so the compass begins to shake. Not violently, but slowly, almost imperceptibly. one quiet invalidation at a time. Nothing breaks self-trust faster or more deeply than gaslighting. When someone repeatedly tells you that what you feel is false, you learn to fear your own perception. When someone tells you you're imagining things, you're being dramatic, you misunderstood, that never happened, you're overreacting, you're too sensitive, you learn not to trust your emotions, your memory, your instincts, your body, your choices, your truth. Gaslighting teaches your compass to spin uncontrollably, because every time you pointed north, someone insisted, "No, north is the other way." And eventually, you stopped pointing at all. There is a deeper reason self-trust collapses. Trauma. Not always the dramatic kind, not always violence or catastrophe. Sometimes trauma is being yelled at unpredictably, having no space to express emotion, walking on eggshells, being compared constantly, feeling invisible, never feeling safe to disagree, being parentified, needing to be perfect to be loved. Trauma is not just what happened, it's what happens inside you because of what happened. And emotional trauma teaches the nervous system the world is unpredictable. Your instincts do not protect you. So you disconnect from the part of you designed to guide you. Your compass didn't malfunction, it was overwhelmed. You walk deeper into the forest. Branches crack beneath your feet. The trees whisper. Fog rolls in. You take one step forward, then freeze. Something inside whispers, "What if you're wrong?" Another voice whispers, "What if this is a mistake?" Another, "What if you ruin everything again?" These aren't fears, these are memories. Memories of every time you trusted yourself and were punished for it. Memories of every time you believed your inner voice and someone told you it was wrong. You drop to your knees in the forest, not because you're weak, but because the weight of self-distrust is exhausting. Your compass shakes violently. The needle spins as if reacting to your pain. You whisper into the mist, "Where did I lose myself? Why can't I trust me? What's wrong with me?" The forest becomes silent. Then, a faint glow appears between the trees. Someone steps forward. A small silhouette emerges. Soft, dim, familiar. A child, no older than 6 or 7, holding a tiny compass, glowing faintly. Your breath catches. They step closer, their eyes, your eyes, filled with unspoken hurt and quiet wisdom. They whisper, "You stopped trusting yourself because no one trusted me." You feel the world shift, because that is the truth. Your adult self-distrust is the echo of a child who was not believed, a child who knew what they felt, a child who saw what others denied, a child who sensed danger before adults admitted it, a child who was punished for listening to their own intuition. Your younger self holds up their glowing compass. "My compass was never wrong," they say. "It was ignored." Your chest tightens, a mix of grief and recognition. Because you remember. Somewhere deep inside, you remember the exact moment you began to doubt yourself. And now, the compass is glowing again. They place it in your hands. It warms your palms. Light pulses. The forest shifts. Your younger self steps back into the mist. But the glow remains. You lift the child's compass. Its needle holds steady, calm, confident, unwavering. You place your adult compass next to it. The moment they touch, the shaking stops. The needle steadies. North is clear. Your breath deepens as clarity fills your body. The child's voice echoes. Your compass wasn't broken. You were just taught not to use it. You rise from the forest floor. You stand tall. For the first time in years, your inner world feels quiet. Not silent, but peaceful. You can hear something you haven't heard in a long time. Yourself. The forest dims. The mist rises. The compass glows brightly in your hand. You whisper, "I'm ready." The trees shift. A path opens. Part 2 begins with the journey out of the forest and the rebuilding of your inner trust. You stand in the forest holding 2 compasses. The trembling one you've carried for years, the glowing one your younger self handed you. The moment they touched, the shaking stopped. Now the needle points north with unwavering clarity. The air around you shifts. The fog thins. The wind calms. It feels as if the whole forest is exhaling with you. For the first time in a long time, you know what direction feels like, not logically, but intuitively. You whisper, "So this is what trust feels like." You begin walking, not because you know where the path leads, but because something inside you finally feels steady enough to take the first step.
As you walk, the forest reveals truths you've been carrying silently. Self-trust isn't confidence, certainty, perfection, getting everything right. Self-trust is something quieter. 1. Feeling your feelings and believing them, not explaining them away, not minimizing them, not apologizing for them. 2. Making choices you can live with, not choices that keep everyone else comfortable. 3. Listening to your intuition, even when it contradicts logic, even when it disappoints someone. 4. Being loyal to yourself, especially when it would be easier to abandon yourself again. 5. Having your own back, even when you stumble. Self-trust is not certainty. Self-trust is relationship, the relationship between you and your inner world, and that relationship is being restored. The compass glows brighter as you walk deeper into the woods, but something heavy lingers inside you. A familiar voice whispers, "What if I make the wrong decision? What if I ruin everything? What if I am the problem?" These whispers feel ancient, and then you reach a clearing. Carved into the earth is a circle of stones. Each stone represents a moment when you punished yourself for simply being human. You go stone by stone, the stone of mistakes, where you convinced yourself you weren't allowed to be imperfect, the stone of guilt, where you absorbed blame that wasn't yours to carry, the stone of silence, where you stopped speaking because honesty cost too much, the stone of self-abandonment, where you chose peace over your own truth, the stone of fear, where you avoided decisions to avoid responsibility. Each stone hums with the stories you've held in shame and secrecy. The compass spins softly, not with confusion, but with recognition. You kneel and place your hand on the first stone. It dissolves because self-trust cannot coexist with self-punishment. You move from stone to stone, and each one crumbles under your touch, dissolving into dust. As each stone disappears, your chest grows lighter, your path grows clearer, and your compass glows brighter. You enter a smaller clearing, quiet, still. Your younger self appears again, not frightened, not sad, but steady. They point to a large, flat rock. In the center of the clearing, on the rock, are etched phrases, words you internalized long ago. You're imagining things. Stop being dramatic. That didn't happen. You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. Don't make everything about you. Your younger self touches the rock, and it glows softly. They whisper, "These were never truths about you." A pause. "These were reflections of people who could not handle your truth." The rock begins to crack. Your younger self continues, "Your intuition was right. Your emotions were valid. Your memory was accurate. Your boundaries made sense. Your instincts protected you." The rock splits in half. A light pours out. Something inside you breaks and heals in the same breath. You fall to your knees as warmth fills your chest. Not pain, but recognition. You whisper, "I was never wrong." And the voice inside you replies, "You were never wrong." This is the moment. Your inner trust starts to return. You lift the glowing compass. It heats your palm, not burning, but awakening. The needle turns from north to your heart. Your younger self says, "North isn't out there. North is in here." You bring the compass to your chest. A pulse of light spreads through your body. Your breath deepens. Your spine straightens. Your awareness sharpens. For the first time in years, you feel aligned inside yourself. Your inner voice is no longer a whisper. It is a presence, steady, clear, alive. The forest is no longer dark. The trees straighten, the path widens, the mist dissolves. Every step you take feels different, lighter, clearer, steadier, truer. Not because life will be easy, but because you finally have access to the part of you that knows how to navigate it. Your younger self walks beside you. You ask, "Will I lose myself again?" They smile gently. Only if you stop listening. You reach the edge of the forest. Your younger self begins to fade. But before they disappear, they whisper, "Trust isn't something you earn. It's something you return to." You step into the open air. Your compass, now fully restored, points inward and outward at the same time, because self-trust means 1. You believe your feelings, even when others dismiss them. 2. You follow your intuition, even when afraid. 3. You choose yourself, even when others prefer the old version of you. 4. You make decisions from alignment, not approval. 5. You allow mistakes without self-punishment. 6. You listen inward before searching outward. 7. You live as the protector of your own inner child. Self-trust is not perfection. Self-trust is loyalty to your truth. The compass dissolves into light. The light enters your chest. You feel it settle where your doubt once lived. You whisper, I trust myself. Not as a declaration, but as a truth. A truth your body understands. A truth your nervous system recognizes. A truth your inner child has been waiting to hear. The forest behind you dims. The sky opens. Your path expands. This time, you walk forward without hesitation, because your inner compass is finally yours again. If this reflection helped you understand why your self-trust broke and how it can be rebuilt, stay with me, subscribe, and let's rebuild the inner compass together. Until next time, stay aware.